Emily's heart raced like a runaway train. It wasn't every day she went on a date, especially not after 5 years of living like a ghost in her own life. She smoothed her hair nervously, her trembling hands betraying how long it had been since she felt this. The small apartment smelled faintly of lavender from the candle she had lit, hoping it would make things feel warm and welcoming. But no candle could hide the truth. Emily was terrified. She glanced at the clock. 7:02 p.m. He was punctual. That had to mean something good, right? Breathe, Emily. Just breathe. The doorbell rang again, this time softer, as if he sensed her hesitation. She took a deep breath, straightened the soft beige dress she had borrowed from her sister, and walked to the door. Before opening it, she glanced back. Down the hallway stood Lily, her 6-year-old daughter, holding her favorite stuffed bunny. Her big brown eyes were wide with curiosity and something else, fear. "Is that him, Mommy?" Lily whispered. Emily crouched down, brushing a curl from her daughter's forehead. "Yes, sweetheart. Remember what we talked about? Mommy's just having dinner with a nice man, okay? Will he be my new daddy?" The question pierced Emily like a knife. "No, honey," she whispered quickly, pulling her into a hug. "Mommy's just meeting a friend." Satisfied, Lily nodded and tiptoed back to her room, the bunny dragging behind her. Emily turned back to the door, her heart hammering so loud she swore he could hear it from the other side. Slowly, she turned the knob and opened it. And froze. The man standing there looked like he belonged on a movie poster, tall, broad shoulders filling out a navy blue suit, his white shirt open at the collar just enough to hint at casual confidence. His hair was dark and perfectly styled, his jaw strong, and his eyes, those steel blue eyes, locked on hers, making her forget every word she had rehearsed. "Hi," he said, his voice deep and warm, like melted chocolate. "Emily?" She swallowed hard. "Yes, Logan, that's me." His smile was soft, almost nervous, and for a second, she thought everything was perfect. Until he leaned in slightly, his voice dropping so low she almost missed it. "My kids are in the car." Emily blinked. Surely she misheard. I'm sorry, what?" Logan shifted uncomfortably, running a hand over the back of his neck. His expression held a mix of apology and urgency. "My kids. They're waiting in the car. I didn't want to surprise you like this, but..." He exhaled heavily. "I'm a single dad. 2 kids, and they're with me tonight." The world tilted for Emily. Her carefully built expectations came crashing down. She had imagined wine glasses, soft music, adult conversation. Not kids in a car. She gripped the doorframe, her mind spinning. He didn't mention this in his profile. Not a word. "You didn't say anything about kids," she managed, her voice shaking more than she liked. "I know," he admitted, his jaw tightening. "I didn't want to scare you off. But I also didn't want to lie. Tonight, I wanted to be honest." His words hit her like a whisper from a past life. Honest. When was the last time someone had been honest with her? Since her ex-husband walked out, honesty felt like a fairy tale. Before she could respond, a soft knock on the car window made her look past him. There, through the glass of a black SUV parked at the curb, 2 little faces peeked out, a boy around 8 and a girl about Lily's age, their eyes wide and curious. Something inside Emily shifted. Her pulse quickened, but not from fear, something else, something she couldn't name yet. She looked back at Logan. He looked vulnerable, like a man who had broken a rule just to give himself one last chance at something real. For a moment, the silence stretched between them, thick and heavy. Then Emily spoke, her voice barely a whisper. "Bring them in." Emily stepped aside, her fingers tightening on the door as Logan gave a small nod of gratitude. He turned and gestured to the car. The two children hopped out cautiously, one boy, tall for his age with messy brown hair, and a little girl holding a pink doll like it was her lifeline. Emily's throat tightened. This wasn't what she planned. This wasn't what she signed up for. The boy walked ahead, confidence in his steps, while the girl clung to Logan's side, peeking at Emily with wide eyes. "Ethan, Chloe," Logan said softly, his voice laced with authority and gentleness, "this is Emily." The boy Ethan gave a polite nod. Chloe whispered something into Logan's sleeve. Emily bent slightly, her warm smile hiding the storm inside her. "Hi, Ethan. Hi, Chloe. You can call me Emily." Chloe's grip on the doll tightened. "Hi," she whispered so softly Emily almost didn't hear it. Before Emily could say more, a small gasp sounded behind her. She turned to see Lily, peeking out from the hallway, her big brown eyes locked on Chloe's doll. "Sweetheart," Emily called gently. "Come say hi." Lily hesitated for a second, then tiptoed forward, her bunny dragging along the floor. She stood in front of Chloe, eyes wide with curiosity. "You have a doll," Lily said, breaking the silence. Chloe nodded. "Her name's Bella." Lily's lips curved into a small smile. "This is Mr. Bunny." Just like that, the ice cracked. The two girls exchanged shy giggles, and within minutes, they were sitting cross-legged on the floor, Bella and Mr. Bunny talking in squeaky voices. Ethan rolled his eyes but couldn't hide his grin. Emily felt the tension in her chest ease just a little. She turned to Logan, who was watching his kids with a mixture of relief and something else. Vulnerability. This wasn't what I expected. Emily admitted quietly, folding her arms. "I know," Logan said, his gaze fixed on Chloe as she laughed softly at something Lily said. "It wasn't what I planned either. But when my sitter canceled last minute, I didn't want to cancel on you." Emily raised an eyebrow. "You could have rescheduled." Logan turned to her then, his blue eyes intense. "I thought about it, but honestly..." He paused, running a hand through his hair. "It's been 3 years since I've done this, gone on a date, met someone new. And when I saw your profile, Emily..." His voice softened. "I couldn't let this chance go." Her heart thudded. She didn't want to admit it, but those words touched something deep inside her, the part that still believed in second chances. 3 years? She asked quietly. Logan nodded, his jaw tightening. Since their mom left, one morning she said she couldn't do it anymore. Motherhood, marriage, responsibility, and she walked out. Emily's breath caught. She glanced at the children, happy, innocent, unaware of the weight of their father's pain. "I'm sorry," she whispered, and she meant it. Logan shrugged, his smile bitter. "It's life. We move on, for them." He nodded toward Ethan and Chloe, his expression softening. Emily swallowed hard, her chest tightening. She knew that weight, the crushing pressure of being everything for someone who depended on you. She had carried it since Lily's father walked out before she was even born. She opened her mouth to say something, but Chloe's laughter rang out, light and pure. Emily looked over to see Lily and Chloe building a tiny house for their toys using the sofa cushions. "They seem happy," Emily said softly. Logan smiled for the first time that evening, a real smile, not the polite one from before. "Yeah. They don't laugh like that often." Emily didn't know what to say. So she just nodded, her throat tight with emotions she couldn't name. "Do you want to order dinner?" Logan asked after a moment, his voice breaking the silence. "I was going to take you out, but..." Emily laughed softly, shaking her head. "I don't think a 5-star restaurant would appreciate a sofa fort." Logan chuckled, and for a second, the tension melted away. "Pizza then. Pizza sounds perfect." As Logan pulled out his phone, Emily leaned against the wall, watching the man she had just met, this stranger with kind eyes and broken pieces he tried so hard to hide and wondered if fate had a strange sense of humor, because tonight wasn't supposed to be like this, but maybe. It was exactly what she needed. The smell of melted cheese and garlic filled the apartment as the pizza boxes landed on the coffee table. The sofa cushions had transformed into a mini fortress, and Lily and Chloe were giggling inside, their tiny voices echoing through the room. Ethan sat on the armchair nearby, scrolling through his tablet but sneaking glances at the fort every now and then, a faint smile tugging at his lips. Emily carried paper plates to the living room, her soft laughter mixing with the kids' playful chatter. She hadn't heard this much laughter in her home for a long time. Logan walked in from the kitchen, holding 2 glasses of soda and a bottle of water. He set them down and glanced at her, his smile tired but warm. "I think they've officially taken over your living room." Emily chuckled, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. "It's okay. It hasn't looked this alive in years." Their eyes met, and for a heartbeat, neither looked away. Something about that quiet acknowledgement, the loneliness they both carried, created a thread between them. "Dinner's ready, girls." Emily called. The sofa fort shook as 2 little heads popped out. Chloe ran to the table first, with Lily right behind her. Ethan put down his tablet and joined them, acting disinterested but clearly hungry. "Cheese for the princesses and pepperoni for the night," Logan said playfully, sliding a slice onto Ethan's plate. "Dad," Ethan muttered, rolling his eyes, but there was a smile hiding there. Emily smiled as she served Lily. "Careful, it's hot." For a few minutes, the room was filled with the simple sound of chewing, giggles, and soda fizzing. It was ordinary. Beautifully, heartbreakingly ordinary. Emily took a small bite of her pizza, her eyes wandering to Logan. He was laughing at something Chloe said, his deep voice rumbling like distant thunder. And for the first time in years, Emily felt something stir in her chest, something dangerous and thrilling. She pushed the thought away quickly. "Don't go there, Emily. Not again." As the kids finished and returned to their fortress, Logan and Emily sat at the table, their plates half empty. "So," Logan started, his voice soft, "tell me about you." Emily hesitated. She hated this part. The part where she had to explain why she was here on a dating app, opening her door to a stranger, hoping for something that might never come. "There's not much to tell," she said finally, tracing her finger along the edge of her plate. "It's just me and Lily, always has been." Logan's eyes softened. "Her dad." Emily swallowed hard, her throat tightening like a vice. She looked away, staring at the flickering candle on the counter. "He left before she was born," she said quietly. "Said he wasn't ready for this." She waved her hand vaguely, but the weight in her voice said everything. Logan didn't speak right away. He just sat there, his expression unreadable. Then he reached out slowly, resting his hand near hers, not touching, just there. "I'm sorry," he said simply. No pity, no judgment. Just honesty. Emily blinked hard, willing back the sting in her eyes. "Don't cry." "Not now." "I guess that's why I signed up for this app," she said with a shaky laugh. "Just to remember what being wanted feels like." Logan's jaw tightened. "You deserve more than that." Emily looked at him, her breath catching. He wasn't saying it like a line, like a practiced compliment. He meant it. She could see it in his eyes that carried their own stories, their own scars. "What about you?" she asked softly, needing to shift the focus away from herself. Logan leaned back, exhaling slowly. "Married young. Thought we had forever, but forever lasted 5 years. When Chloe was 2, she started pulling away. Sod, she felt trapped. One day she just packed her things and left. Left me with 2 kids and a mortgage." Emily's heart twisted. "How did you manage?" He smiled faintly. though it didn't reach his eyes. I didn't, not at first. I wanted to give up so many times. But then, every time I saw them sleeping, I realized if I gave up, who would fight for them? He glanced toward the girls, now giggling inside the sofa fort. They saved me. Emily swallowed the lump in her throat. For a long moment, there was only silence between them, thick, heavy, but not uncomfortable. Like two souls who understood each other without needing words. Then, a squeal broke the moment. "Daddy!" "Emily!" Chloe called from inside the fort. "Come play with us." Emily laughed softly, looking at Logan. "Guess we've been summoned." Logan grinned, a real grin this time. Can't argue with royalty. As they crawled toward the fort, Emily realized something she hadn't felt in years, not fear, not hesitation, but hope. The fortress had finally fallen. Pillows lay scattered across the floor, and the two little girls, worn out from giggling and make-believe, had drifted into sleep on the couch, their tiny chests rising and falling in rhythm. Ethan sat in the armchair, head tilted back, eyes closed but a faint smile still on his lips. Emily stood quietly, a soft blanket in her hands. She tucked it around Lily first, brushing a kiss against her daughter's forehead. Then she turned to Chloe, gently pulling the doll from her tiny arms and placing it beside her before draping the blanket over her two. Logan watched silently, his hands in his pockets, his face bathed in the warm glow of the lamp. There was something in his eyes, something Emily couldn't name but could feel in the pit of her stomach. "They look like they've been friends forever," Emily whispered, glancing at him. Logan nodded, his voice low. "They've been needing this. A night where they could just be kids. No pressure, no sadness, just laughter." Emily looked at him, and for a fleeting second, she imagined what it would feel like, two families blending into one, laughter, filling every corner of this little apartment. The thought scared her, and yet it warmed her in a way she hadn't felt in years. She turned quickly, gathering empty plates and pizza boxes to break the spell. But Logan's voice stopped her. "Emily," he said softly. She turned. He was closer now, his blue eyes searching hers. "Thank you," he said simply, "for tonight, for not turning me away when you could have. Most people would have closed the door." Emily forced a small smile. Most people don't have a fort in their living room to entertain royalty. Logan chuckled quietly, but then his expression sobered. "I'm serious. It's been a long time since I felt normal, since my kids laughed like that, and it's because of you." Emily's throat tightened. She looked down, trying to hide the tears threatening to spill. "It was nice," she whispered. "Better than I expected." "Better than I deserved," he said under his breath, almost as if he didn't want her to hear. She looked up sharply. "Don't say that." Before she could say more, a sharp vibration broke the moment, Logan's phone buzzing in his pocket. He sighed and pulled it out, his face tightening as he read the screen. Emily noticed. "Everything okay?" Logan's jaw clenched. "It's their mom." The words hung in the air like a cold draft. Emily's stomach sank. Of course. The perfect night couldn't last forever. Logan silenced the call and slid the phone back into his pocket, his expression conflicted. "She doesn't call unless she wants something. Probably just another promise she won't keep." Emily hesitated. "Do they talk to her?" "Not much," he said quietly. "And I'm not sure if that's a blessing or a curse." Emily wanted to ask more, but she saw the storm in his eyes and decided against it. Instead, she nodded toward the couch. "You should get them home. It's late." Logan nodded reluctantly. Together, they woke Ethan first, then carried the sleeping girls to the door. Chloe clung to Logan's neck even in sleep, her tiny hand curled around his shirt. Emily held the door open, her heart twisting as she watched them leave. Logan turned back once the kids were settled in the car. For a long moment, they just stood. There under the porch light, the cool night air wrapping around them like a fragile thread. "I want to see you again," he said finally, his voice low, almost pleading. "No surprises next time. Just us." Emily swallowed hard, her heart pounding. "Logan." "I know," he said quickly, as if reading her hesitation. "This is fast, and maybe crazy. But tonight felt real, more real than anything has in a long time." Emily opened her mouth, but no words came. Instead, she just nodded barely, but enough. Logan smiled softly, stepping closer, not too close, just enough to make her breath hitch. "Good night, Emily." "Good night," she whispered, and then he was gone, walking down the steps into the cool night, leaving Emily standing there with her heart beating like a drum dot as his car disappeared down the street. Emily leaned against the door, closing her eyes. She had sworn she would never do this again, never open her heart, never risk the pain. But tonight, something changed. For the first time in years, she felt hope that maybe, just maybe, love wasn't finished with her yet. Dear friend, if this story made you pause for even a moment, brought a tear to your eye, or stirred something deep inside your heart, then please give it a like and share. Maybe your one share becomes hope for someone else. And if you'd like to keep receiving stories that speak to the soul, don't forget to subscribe. It's the first step in our journey together. Oh, and please share your thoughts in the comments, because every word from you means the world to me. Thank you, truly from the heart.